How's it going? Hope you're having a great day. And I'm excited to finally have this set up again. It's been over a year. And, I don't know, things just kind of happened and was changing things up and never got back to it. But I'm hyped to make videos like this again to where, we're editing photos, doing stuff in the studio, just to change up what's, it's not even really changing up, it's just more of uh, documenting the creative process. Yeah, I mean, I think um, the idea of editing, having editing videos or even like a glimpse into it. I made a full on process of editing the whole Cavs Parade project, which is titled This Is For You. The whole thing was streamed on Twitch. And so I've always had these ideas of, not even ideas, I've always done these things where, uh, I was just filming while I was editing or that type of thing. And I got like a proper rig this time, and I think that was what was tough before. It's something I had to put together and take down, and it's like this whole thing. So I made some basic investments, made some things that just makes it easier. Even just like you can't see it here, but I have my whole microphone rig out with a clamp. It's out, always out and ready. It's not put in a drawer like it used to be, and have to bring it back out and set up the plugs and all that. I set up a specific hub where everything's plugged in, so all I do is plug it into the computer. So I have a dedicated hub with new cords dedicated for this, so everything's ready. And all I do is plug in, hit record, and I'm good to go. And same thing with this camera. It's a DJI Pocket 3. It's the one I use in the studio and sometimes out in the streets. I use the Action 5 a lot of the time because it's just rugged, small, fits in my pocket easily, and it's just my kind of daily out shooting photos video camera. But the Pocket 3 is what I use for all of my studio stuff, and it's just a little attachment like I have on this one for the Action 5. It's just like a little thing I put onto a tripod. I have this on every single tripod type of stand in the studio, so all I do is swap cameras. Um, and I guess I'm just gonna throw this random announcement out if you're watching this video. Is the Shadowgraph is for sure coming back. There's only, I think, 3 episodes that I did last year. The Shadowgraph it was basically born within the early COVID times, like early. Like it was like the early time where you're like, oh, this will probably only be like a month, maybe, 2 months. Yeah, I mean, so it was early. And it's kind of like evolved on what it is. Originally, it's kind of like, I think it's still the same, but just it has evolved. Like it was like a publishing thing where I was going to self-publish. Kind of got away from that, but to me, it's more of like just what the tagline is. It's photographic case studies. So maybe it is a random side photo project that might not be kind of the same as my other projects. That's possible. Um, but how I look at it now is it kind of took over how I want to do podcasts. I did Photography podcast over 50 episodes on different photography themes and stuff like that. So the Shadowgraph is basically taking over that process that I did too, is where I want to like retell those stories in a different way. Um, Possibly bring back. I don't know if I'm going to bring back the podcast in the sense of having it on past podcast uh, platforms. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. It's been a while, so it might be even easier to do that. But to me, I think of it more of an extension to the YouTube channel, to the website, and that type of thing. So the Shadowgraph will have like, and it'll be like, the reason I don't know if I'll do podcast form, because I think having it filmed like this and being able to go on and show things within the video will be really cool. So, um, with that being said, let's edit some photos. I did a walk here. It's basically the first walk of the year in Oberlin. I didn't really get much at all. Um, I didn't spend much time there either. It's basically it was just kind of like knocking the dust off, getting out there, making things happen, that type of thing. So the very first photo I shot, I ran across the street and got beeped at by a cop because I was jaywalking/running. Um, I haven't done any type of editing, so my editing process is kind of random. I really don't have anything specific I really always do. Um, except a lot of times I'll just see what's kind of going on with distortion, that type of thing. So that's just it's just easy clicks, easy fixes. I kind of decided not to show all the adjustments exactly how I'm doing them, because yeah, I just feel like it's kind of one of those things where um, it's good to so you can see I'm going all the way over, which is I do that a lot with highlights, because I shoot with a Black Pro Mist, so my highlights are get a little aggressive, but I like what they do to the highlights. But that's kind of like why I think when you're shooting, your own when you're making your own work, you'll you'll end up forming like a your own kind of vibe. You know what I mean? And you'll realize what you like. I mean, that's kind of one tip I do is like I do a lot of like this where I slide back and forth because it gives me like a sense of where I what kind of want to be and what's too much and what needs some help. A lot of it's just like how I do it too is just like messing with individual colors. Um, I think that's kind of like the old school way as well with like black and white. They would change kind of that type of thing. Um, yeah. What's crazy is masking is so advanced these days, and that's one thing I should probably take advantage of. But I'm so like kind of like a little old school, I guess. I just haven't really done too much of that. You can kind of see where I'm at so far. Nothing crazy. I don't really get. Maybe I do get crazy. I don't know. I guess it depends. I definitely like to push things. Yeah, that's what I needed. There we go. Good enough for me. It's kind of one thing. This is like a good example of what I'm trying to do a little bit more. Like, is just shoot a little differently. Like, this is not something like I've never shot a photo like this. Really, you know what I mean? Like, well, I know I have. I don't have another photo like this. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to experiment with that a bit this year, where I kind of just experiment. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna use these photos, um, but that's one thing I'm kind of forcing myself to do with some of these types of videos where I'm just editing is like it's just getting myself in that process. You never know, this photo might be cool in a project because of another photo. It might be something I decided to post on the Instagrams or whatever. You know what I mean? It might be a blueprint one day. I don't know. But it's just like, it's a photo that I don't, completely hate. So I figured I'd edit here. So it's like these photos up here, I'm not too sure. I just threw this on here to kind of check it out. Um, so I generally kind of like when I'm walking around, kind of just depends. Like the sun went away here. Like I was kind of like fighting that a little bit. So I tend to shoot at a high shutter speed just because I don't know. That's just what I do. Just what I do. Um, let's see. So like to me, like so interesting. I think it's important to get the photo because you never know, like with like editing, where like it looks like I think when you're like looking in, if you're shooting raw and you're kind of like I don't know, sometimes things like this is kind of there's not much going on in this, but like once I'm kind of editing, I'm like, I kind of like the randomness of it. It's not anything crazy, but I'm just being trying to be a little bit more open to to I don't know, just never know. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where like this could, you know, super basic, but who knows? Maybe I'll have a photo with like a bunch of stacked plates or something that might go hand in hand. I'm trying to not limit myself to how I'm distributing photos. So, like they say, if there's some photos I like, maybe I do some type of thing where I put them together. This is where I often question myself about blogging again, because maybe I can start piecing some things together, even within like an actual kind of like a collage type image. You know what I mean? Where it's just like one photo or one whatever file within two photos within a frame or something like that. You know what I mean? Um, I always question myself about blogging, but you know, do I just do it on Instagram? Yeah, I mean, like maybe that's what I should be thinking. Um, I don't know. It's a process. Even like just like maybe photos just end up on like Instagram stories that like maybe it's something I wouldn't really so much use, but they're photos that are okay. But I don't know. It's tough. This day and age is tough. Like so like a big thing that I think about a lot is like say like William Eggleston. I kind of always like to go back to Eggleston because like I like his style and that type of thing. Where like he has a lot like his big books, like the giant ones that have like the collections. Like those are obviously big collections, but like in like the career of like the actual books that came out from those, there's not a lot of photos total. You know what I mean? When you're talking about like The Guide and Democratic Forest and Los Alamos, like those like original books, like when you add those up over the course of those whatever however many years that it was, like 40 years by the time a big version of them came out. Um, Obviously he didn't have social media and that type of thing, and like but like that's where I question myself is do I even post any of this random stuff that like this photos like whatever, like I don't really like it. But I wanted to put that on here and I wanted to edit it because I'm like forcing myself. Like normally if I wasn't making this video I want to put this in here, but I wanted to just like add to my few photos I had that was like, hey, there's something going on carrying these plates. I just threw it in here, didn't think much about it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe like this other one with the car, where like maybe it's a little bit more interesting. But again, I don't know if I'd ever use it or not. But this could be something that I post on Instagram. I don't know. Like I'm still doing it to this day. I'm like posting on Instagram that's like project related or like final photos, that type of thing. I don't know if that's the right way to be working or to be publishing work. I'm not sure. I don't know. I struggle with that one. Like, cause I could just post photos, and I don't. So I always like to go off a skateboarding analogy. And I don't know if it's like back in the day. Say if you're filming skateboarding tricks for a video, you wouldn't want to like have your tricks go out there because part of your like you don't want to leak your footage, right? Because you have a part coming out. So I don't know if that's what I like subconsciously I'm thinking like, oh, I need to save these photos for a project. But I've also have been I guess I've been breaking that barrier down, especially with ciphers and stillness because that project um I'm kind of like talking myself into this, I guess. Um is a lot about that in a way. Like when I think about it, is because ciphers and stillness was basically a project I wanted to do once I was looking at some photos that like gave me that sense of stillness and like, secrets. So I was working with the archives and they're all photos that I had already edited. Like I literally like went through a bunch of folders. Um, and then, some things you know, brought back into the editing room and that type of thing to kind of work on again. Because that's what's funny about editing, especially old working on older systems and it's how screens are different now and there are, it's interesting because there's photos that date pretty far back. Like, and I have good stories about a couple of photos that I'm like really happy about, but I think that those should be like an actual video. Um, but yeah, but but that's the thing with like, I brought back photos that were, I guess, I don't know. I'm stumbling now. I'm stumbling. This is like what art life really is. It's like it's a it's mental. It's a mental thing, and uh, I've been thinking about a movie that called Stalker. Actually, I have a tattoo from it. It's I don't know if you can see it. There you go. I don't know if you can see it good or not. Wrong way, right here. Um, highly recommend watching it. It's not like what you think when you think Stalker, um, but basically talk about a zone and there's traps to get to the zone, and your biggest wish comes true at the zone. I've been putting my own little twist on it, like just mentally and like to inspire myself. Is treating the art life like the zone. You know what I mean? Like the zone is like happiness and creativity, and everything outside of the zone is nothing but traps. And like, you know, you have to um, navigate to the zone and to be in the zone. So I think a lot of that is what I'm struggling with photos like that. I'm just shooting along the way that I don't have a project in the works. And I think I need to not be so like overthinking it in a way. Like, yeah, maybe this photo can be in a project or something. Like, and I want to say again, like, this is not a photo. Like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing photo. But I'm just like using it as reference where this, say, if it could be in a project, does it really matter if I post it right now? I It doesn't. Like, I know it doesn't, but my brain is just like I'm just not used to like being like, oh, I'm gonna post these photos. One because I think just posting a photo this day and age is sadly like doesn't really matter anymore. Um, it's kind of like magazines. You know what I mean? It's almost it's sadly like that. It's so weird to say it like that but it is true. I think like everything is a reel, a short, add music to your photos and I think that's where I need to and I've experimented with it. I think it was a photo from I can't remember which project, but I might have done it a few times where like it's just kind of like an animation into like a transition or whatever into showing the photo, and then it kind of transitions out and shows like my logo and website. So it's just like this short kind of video showing one photo. I think that's like really what I need to focus on. Um, it also brings that kind of like something to like see a little bit better. I think when photos like when no action is happening at the beginning, I think how people are trained visually on a phone is like something needs to be happening to like kind of keep them looking at it. I think when something is just still, it's like almost like a paused TV show, like back in the day. Yeah, I mean, or something like that, or like, or I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna keep on moving here. But this is kind of what I'm excited about too, with like remaking these videos is, or not remaking, but doing these videos is, having these conversations. It's just with the zone. So this one I thought was interesting is this. I mean, it's kind of like real random. Um, but it's just another one. It's like, see, this is one where like maybe I do a little bit of a nothing too crazy. See, I don't really get too fancy. Like, so I'm not gonna do like much at all. Just kind of like a little general kind of. Even though like it was kind of like spot, it's not like so much like to be perfect to like get everything's perfect. Like it's just a little bit of like a highlight to it in a way, just to make it a little bit more, just have it stand out a little bit. You can see how that just that subtle highlight makes a big difference there. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let me see if this does anything that makes me feel a little bit better. See, like this was like so many like uh yeah, because like even though I'm like slightly off, I don't know if unless I just kind of crop out that corner. Yeah, maybe I just do that. Let me just shave out this little corner here. I mean, I could go. Yeah, maybe that's better. I'm gonna go with that. Except let me see here. I'm actually gonna go back to this, that. Go a little bit more with it. That. See how this. There we go. Just don't want to like go too crazy where it's like, yeah, I like that. Cool. See, this is like a photo I actually do like a lot. Like this is just like I don't know. It's kind of goes with a lot of what I am looking for in a way. It's hard to explain. Like I don't even really like explaining it that to be honest. Um, but I've always had like a way I like shooting with composition and what I'm looking at in the photo, but it might be different than what you're looking at in the photo. And that's totally okay with me. I've never been like a traditional composition type person. So this was an interesting building. I've never noticed this building. I've been to Oberlin a bunch of times. I kind of went a little bit further one direction, I guess, than I normally do. Um, I shot random angles of this, and I couldn't really like next to this and around this just looks like not good, as in it's just like modern, nothing like exciting. So it actually like makes the photo not look good with other stuff in it. So I had to really figure out how I wanted to shoot this to, um, like not have any of that basically. And this is kind of my best, but I kind of was really hoping once I got into editing this would like really become like a something I really liked. This is actually what I was kind of worried about when I was shooting it. So to me, I feel like oh, wrong thing, wrong thing. I feel like this might be, but it needs a little bit of a. Oh, like tripping over here. There we go. Oh, that was the. Seems good. Where's the? All right, I wanted to get that out of the way first. Kind of get it like a proper. Fix the kind of the distortion vibe going on there. So this is one I kind of want to get a little aggressive with. Uh, I think that's what's really gonna help this photo out a lot. It's funny, I don't even know what color this is like. Go like this. Getting some of the ground there too. I can fix that. It's kind of like just kind of experimenting. Because it's actually like I said, it's not too like I'm not really ever too aggressive. It's just getting because I do shoot it in raw to get in detail and all that kind of stuff and whatnot. But it's really getting the colors down in a certain. I don't know. I just know what I'm looking for. It's hard to explain it. It's funny. I want to see what this actually does. That's insane. Uh, what sucks is like it has that middle there. But it's like, oh, it'd be nice to just like fit if I can just select the windows. But let me see what happens here. It's actually kind of okay if it does a little bit of the inside. It doesn't need to. Just make sure it didn't do anything funky. And just can remember this a little bit. I was just making sure profile corrections around because it's a little bit more vignetting than this. Then I like to see in this photo. Yeah, I dig it. Move on. Wasn't too sure about this one. Just kind of just like a detail. Didn't even get too close to it really, but might do. Definitely need to straighten this up from the beginning. So it's just kind of just go you know, walking by. So let's see that. I don't know if I like that thing on that bottom. I guess it gives a little bit of a vibe. This part down in here. All right. So do that. You can see, like normally I kind of edit pretty quickly because I know exactly like what I'm looking for in my work, like how I envision the work. So to me that's a done deal. Good to go. Actually, I really like this photo. So this one was interesting because I didn't even know this dude was here when I was shooting this photo. Um, I was trying to get a vibe. I don't know if this is gonna work out in any way. So for sure gonna have to do this, and probably all the way to that. Something like this, maybe. I don't really want it dead center, but maybe I do. Let's see what this looks like. That looks terrible. I think just straight up is the best, to be honest. I might try to. There's the 0.2. Maybe I'll go point. Oops, point. Oh gosh, I didn't know my buttons. It says 0. I'm just gonna type this in. 0.4. Yeah, that's better. Just a simple rotation. But I actually don't even know if I'm gonna like this or not. Let's see. Problem is like, if he was in the sunlight, I mean, this would be a way better situation. I think it's just a non-make. I think this is something maybe to come back to. So I'm just gonna not finish editing this, to be honest, because I don't like. I like this idea, but it needs to be revisited. I like this grate here. I like this church. I think this is something to next time I'm in Oberlin, I'm gonna hit the spot up, see if anything's just see if something has to be happening in this area for sure. Even I mean something even in here would probably be the play, just for how far I am. Or maybe I walk down this. I've been down. I know I probably went down this alley before, but I need to actually walk into it because maybe I can shoot this just closer to these doors up here, and maybe something else can happen. I think it's just an area to investigate for sure. So yeah, not too much happened on the walk. Just very simple. But it was great to be out. Um, I do like this photo. I think this is actually something that's can be used. Same thing. This is cool. I like this one a lot. Good find, especially for like uh where I live, because this is not normal. This is another shot that I'm kind of into now that I'm looking at it. Let me There we go. A little too flat for my liking, color wise. It's a little bit more of a boost there. Um, this photo, I don't like this photo really. And this is okay, nothing crazy. So yeah, not too bad. Walked around, got some stuff. I think that's the important thing is just getting out and shooting photos. Not always gonna get some crazy good ones, or sometimes might not get any. But I think it's just important to put the camera over your shoulder and get out there and make work happen. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. I'm hyped to be back doing this because you know, I've obviously in this video got a lot of thoughts going. So I'm excited to do more of these. And as always, I'm gonna cut myself off so I can end the video. Head over to beastmedia.com to see everything that's going on over there. You can see all the photo projects I've done before. They're available for free. You can view them all. There's a print shop, there's merch, a lot of fun stuff going on with that too. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. That would be awesome. It helps out the channel. And I will see you in the next video.